So, hello and welcome to this Gauntlet Hangout run of Perseverant, a game about survival. I have some usual suspects with me today. Garrett, who's back from hibernation, which I'm very happy about. Sabine and Tyler, who I've been playing a lot with lately as well. So I'm not sure if anyone is watching this, but if you have been seeing these people rock the stocks out of my story games. So I'm looking forward to this game. I'm pretty well prepared for a story game this time as well. Setting up and stuff and in advance. Who could expect such a thing? So first I'm going to do like a small introduction of the game. It's quite open for like what we want to do, but the core of the game is that it's like some kind of survival fiction, like a man versus nature kind of core. That's what the game is about, and there's a lot of variants of that. We can make the game about exploration more, or also do it more like man versus mind, or even like man versus man, if we wanted to. So there's a few different ways it could go. We could start like discussing that a little bit. What we're most interested in, what kind of tone. Does anyone have any like ideas or thoughts about that to start with?
We've been doing a lot of kind of PvP type things. I wouldn't mind going with a much more cooperative man versus nature idea. Now, I'm open for anything, but it'd kind of be neat, a more team-oriented thought. And
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the PvP comes in naturally. At some point. And it's not necessarily evil mind, but through each other. That kind of stuff.
I'm cool with that too. Like the game, to a certain extent, pushes a little towards that, as it's like, but we'll see. Like we can starting off as we are good-minded people who wouldn't naturally stab each other in the back is like a good vantage point to go from, and then we'll see what happens. So I think also based on that, maybe actually have like a low, or at least maybe like violence is not really what we're interested in here. Possibly, like it could be, but from if we wanted to go in that direction, that's probably like the. I mean, we could also always change that, but it's good to maybe check in if you wanted to. Of course, we're all experienced story gamers, so I mean, just stop and ask, and it will be fine. But like as a vantage point, that seems also like in the line of like a more exploration type game.
That's good. Like violence, not so much. Physical harm, totally on the table. Yeah.
Violence against each other, I guess. Also find that less interesting, even like in survival fiction, really. Cool. Yeah. So, is there like any particular things about survival fiction you find interesting and want to explore? Do you have like a focus on for the game?
Well, I'm not too keen on having some science fiction thing. I'm sorry. I'd rather like some nature that is really there.
Cool.
Yeah. Something where cold and dark are relevant is something I was always associating with that game. So I would be interested in cold and dark. But I'm open to everything.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, that's like the almost, for me at least in my head, like the default kind of idea I get when I think about like that kind of fiction, like ice and snow and mountains and darkness. I don't know why, but somehow it's in my. Well, maybe because I'm from Norway, could be. Close to home.
Yeah, we're not so close to the Sahara.
I've been thinking about caves. Maybe they're dark and cold.
Caves.
Caves, caverns.
Yeah.
Narrow. If that doesn't trigger anybody.
Oh yeah, I mean that's cool. We could do like maybe we were like on a archaeology expedition or something, and then there was like an earthquake or something, and the tunnel we went in collapsed.
Yeah.
And now we have to find a way out. That sounds.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
yeah.
Sounds good. However, like when I think of caves, I immediately have to think of these caverns of Paris, the catacombs there. But the second mind is like at the Mayan and caves in Mexico, which have like this 120 kilometers long caves with old ritual places long forgotten.
I was just
but
about
I
to
think
say,
the easiest is like a glacier or something, like something really cold and cave-like.
Yeah. Okay. Caves are normally pretty cold.
Yeah.
I actually have in mind a cave that's near where I live. It's a very narrow cave, very small, and you have to crawl through all this stone around you. And I love that, actually. But I can see where you wouldn't love it if you didn't know the way out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I also have like actually been like into one of those Mayan caves in right on the border with Belize and Guatemala. There's one like this, like a shrine to the underworld god or something.
Yeah,
like a death god shrine. Cool. But like a glacier thing, we could totally do that. Like maybe maybe looking for some kind of like forgotten civilization or something. Cool.
Okay.
it's near.
Yeah. Do we want to have a realistic or like supernatural, or is it like, are both on the table? Are we going for like the gritty?
I can go with either.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, let's leave that blank though. We can totally do that, and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, there is something there, like with the lost civilization or something. Maybe there is.
I think we've lost Garrett.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely see something neat, Frey, like digging through the glaciers, Antarctic or something with, that lost civilization find. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or somewhere down South America, Patagonia or something. It's pretty cold down there, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that could be. Oh, there, Garrett is back.
Yay.
So we have nature, icy caves.
Icy caves, right.
What era are we thinking? Like what kind of time?
Modern, I think. We're archaeologists.
Yeah, I got almost like this Cthulhu game-ish thing in my head, like where it's maybe like a little like modern, but still like not present day.
Okay,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought a little bit about that, like the 20s or something, or 40s.
Okay.
Yeah, but totally cool with it. Yeah, let's say 40s, just to not be completely ripping off 40s era.
Adventure archaeologists like Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's totally original. I mean, it's icy caves though.
Yeah.
No snakes.
If I can, I'm not a fan of pulp. So if we can keep it less pulpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have.
It doesn't have to be pulpy, I would say.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely not. So we kind of started like with the first part of the game, which is like defining the setting. Actually, like went over a little smoothly there. I put it. If you see in our doc, I put icy caves in our nature, and forties on our era, and we also have like a common goal of like our group. It could be, I mean, it could be like a different things. We have like the natural thing. What we talked about is getting out of the caves. But we could add some stuff to it. I mean, we also have like the finding the thing or getting the knowledge out or something part of it, which could be also like adding a bit of get an extra layer on top of it. So maybe maybe that's like a goal, like
discovery sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of already discovered it. I think it's about like actually getting to claim the discovery, because if we die in the caves, I mean, who cares about discovering it, right? We're archaeologists. Getting out and claiming. Okay. Our discovery. Cool. So that is pretty much like the overarching setting bit. What we'll do now is to make some locations, which we'll use for pretty much like how the game is working is that we'll have scenes, and it's a little bit random, like where it is and what challenge it is. We'll make like challenges and set places before, and then we'll roll dice, or like in the game, like draw index cards, but roll dice for us because we don't do index cards online, unfortunately. To see like, okay, so we're gonna have a challenge scene at this place with this challenge. So first thing we're gonna do is to make some places together. We'll do about 10 places. We can do at least like two each minimum. I guess we can just make them together. Do anyone have any ideas?
Lake.
Underwater lake. That kind of like burial thing kind of stuck with me. I think I want to like have a burial shrine or something. Maybe an opportunity for someone to put something supernatural in the game.
I wouldn't mind something like a underground jungle kind of, or somewhere life field. I know there's that great place in New Zealand where they have like that rainforest that's completely inside of a cave, but where we have a real life-filled spot in there.
That would be really cool, actually, like, and weird. I like that. Like in our icy, destitute thing, suddenly there's like this
hot spring that has life around it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Thermal heat is always,
Lush. The ground.
I would like to see steep slides.
Deep slides.
Which are so, because they are out of ice.
Yeah,
steep and go deep.
I think I'm gonna add a fast-moving river.
Okay. I would like to have a very narrow space where almost you can fit, but not really well. It's just a very narrow space. Very narrow tunnel, crawl tunnel, something like that.
close to home. I am freaked out by that a little.
Mhm.
I wouldn't like to be in that space, that's for sure.
Okay.
In game terms, it's fine. I'm just like talking
Okay.
about real life.
Yeah. Okay.
um,
Oh, something beautiful as well. The underground lake might be beautiful, but like a cavern with like stalactites and
Yeah.
like a. So when we have something narrow, we also
crystals.
want to have something very wide, something large, like a hall.
Yeah, let's do that.
An underground cathedral or something.
But yeah, maybe it is actually. That's cool. Like it's that, and it's seems to have had use for like religious purposes or something for the like.
It's just
I mean,
speculation. It's just a hypothesis, but the signs are clear.
Yeah. Cool. I think I want the like a narrow like cliff face or something.
Yes.
Yeah, with like a deep drop to the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
We squeeze out 2 more, or are we happy with these 8? Cool. I think we'll say 8 is good.
Okay.
So the next thing we'll do is to put some danger into our wilderness. I guess we kind of already did with some of the locations, but it's not enough apparently. So we'll make some challenge sources. We'll make 5 of them. The challenges embody the danger representing both the literal and figurative things we must overcome as a group. So that can be like good to keep in mind in terms of like what the themes we had. It could also be like internal, like psychological things possibly, or I mean, there's a lot of room for what those things could be. To play, we'll face the challenges by encountering various challenge sources. These sources are specific, evocative, fitting object, things, creature, forces of nature, or maybe even people. And everyone can make at least. Well, we can each make one, and then we'll see if we can find a last one that we can make collaboratively. It's good to, as with other like good practice, to if there's something anyone brings up that you don't want in the game, which is also fine to just like say that. So examples are like storm, food, supply, fuel, fire, sickness, separation, our path, earthquake.
Earthquake. Like earthquake.
Yes.
I guess
Same
we
here.
already found our collaborative
Earthquake.
one. Huh?
Earthquake.
Is it like my idea was like the first idea was time pressure through like ongoing earthquakes. Like it's like we thought about being locked in there because of an earthquake, right? Or was that already off the table again?
No. I like. There's a second part of that, which is which I'm gonna grab onto, like the time pressure. Like maybe like we're in a like pretty a place that's like probably has very like harsh winter weather, and we're like under time pressure to get out before winter sets in, because then we're not getting out. So it's actually like literally time pressure. That could be. It's very like good to put in anywhere. It's easy to see how something would take a lot of more time than we want to.
Yeah.
If you're happy with that, Garrett.
That sounds good, yeah. Then I would call it like the return of the eternal night or something. To make it a little bit more evocative. And when the eternal night returns, then it's too late. We can't get home anymore.
No boat can come, no airplane could come pick us up. We'd be stuck.
Yeah, that would be bad.
I wouldn't mind having some sort of hostile wildlife, whether it's one thing or a type of thing, but something that's out there lurking, and if we're not careful, it'll come and get us. And I don't know if that's where we want to delve into that, like, supernaturally feel like there's, or where we can even skirt that line, because we're going like with burial grounds and things, having a guardian for it, or, you know, it could be something like the, you know, a spirit animal, or something more mundane, like there's a polar bear. I don't know, but I like the idea of some hostile wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we can't really see it. Maybe it's some sort of a cat or something, a great cat. It might be supernatural. It might just be a old wounded jaguar that's down in those caves.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very like I kind of think that it would be cool to like leave it open for a little bit. I'm calling it the yellow eyes stalking us from the darkness.
Yes. Yes, I like that.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. Cool.
Okay, we can also go with the cold because it's pretty cold, and that's gonna endanger us at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like if you're in a cave, you can't really use fire that much
That's
because
true. Yeah.
You'll have your cave full with things you can't breathe. Cool. So one more. I'm kind of like I would be kind of like I'm gonna put this on the table. You feel free to take it away if you want to. But I think like being in a cave for a long time, I would say like it would be interesting to like have something mental that's challenging, because I would think if you're like going around in caves for a very long time, it would be like yeah, you might get off balance a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Like the mental pressure of all this earth around you that gets into your head.
Yeah, just personal thought there. I would probably have a problem with being in enclosed spaces for that long. But yeah, let's leave that a little open too. But if you're willing to play with it, I would be interested to see it on the table.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Closed. Cool. So now we are going to start with our characters. I think, let's see here. Yeah, characters. The first thing we're going to do is actually to make our relationships. We're making the relationships before we make the characters. So the characters is marked by 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're giving them names after.
Is this a game where we where we have possession of the character, as in we have each a character? Okay.
Yes, we do. It's been a little while actually since I've had that. Almost feels comfortable having my own character again. So we're gonna make 2 relationships per character. So 8 relationships, and then we're gonna well, depending on what you want, like it says you can either distribute them randomly, like with the dice, or we can choose. I personally like the randomness to like see how it, but I'm up for both.
Yes, that's interesting.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with one relationship then, I guess. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have like that person is my mentor.
But you have to say whose character it is that is your mentor, don't you?
No, because yeah, that's
Okay.
because we don't know who's it is yet. I guess we can say like character 1 is my mentor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a mentor-mentee relationship.
Yeah.
It's just the point. Yeah.
We can make another how is this gonna work though? I'm just gonna check this for a second if this is a smart thing to do it that way.
Character 1 is my mentor.
Yeah, if we, or we can just.
I mean, we can go with, you know, each person would roll for that thing, and then, like, you know, if I roll the character as my mentor.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It seems less hassle to just make relationship things first.
Okay.
You want to go with a relationship next, Tyler?
I think we might as well go with there's a romance somewhere in here. It's always good to have a romance.
You have to have a romance.
Right. So do we want it to be like a secret person you're in love with, or do we want to have it be that there is an active romance between two people?
Maybe it's even forbidden.
Ooh, forbidden romance is always good.
Yeah.
Which somehow sounds like a triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, there's probably some professional kind of relationship between these characters since they're like on this expedition together. So easy to see how there could be forbidden love there.
Yeah, so I wonder the formally responsible and the actual competent.
I'm sorry, I don't get it.
That's the formally responsible person and the one who's
okay.
actually competent.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so like like how is the relationship? Like there's the one who is was the leader boss before, and then there's the
there's the official leader of the expedition, and there's the one who actually is doing the job.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. I get that.
Or the actual scientist and the one who really is the expert. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the relationship. Let's see how I can write it down.
I wrote it down already.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good.
If it's you can rewrite it if you find a better way to say that.
Oh, we can hash them out when we actually put characters on it. I get the dynamic at least for me personally, but we can talk about it later. Sabine, do you have one?
Yeah, I have one, and I've written it down. I'll just take best buddies because we want to have some fun loving guys in there, just best buddies and watch each other's back.
Yeah. Let's see. I think since we have a forbidden romance, I think I'm gonna say the husband and wife.
Of course.
That is the forbidden romance. Well, I'm interested in what that means.
We'll see.
We'll have some interesting kind of roll off. We may have to define that a little differently if we're going to do it randomly with a marriage, depending on who ends up with the role.
It could still be the case, right?
Yeah.
In the 40s.
You have another one, Tyler?
Yeah, I think I'm envisioning like an enthusiastic employer, kind of the person who's the driving force behind doing it, but probably not the most competent of people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Like maybe like a financer or something. Oh yeah, and the other person in the relationship is
the actual expert type.
Oh yeah, so like yeah, cool. I like that. Like there's this person who like wrote the we're gonna do this expedition, and there's like those two who like bonded together.
Right, and I think that complements Garrett's pretty well there too.
Yeah. financer and expedition.
The operative. Yeah.
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 Starter, I guess, or something.
Most likely that one with the financer is more going for more risky stuff, and the operator wants to save the crew. And yeah, I can imagine that working well.
Yeah.
I want to get my money out here.
Like in Thin Air, this movie about going up the Everest, the people buying these trips without really being physically capable of doing them, really, and risking the lives of. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. You have another one, Garrett?
Not yet. I need to think a moment.
You
Sabina already has something. Then.
Yeah, I have something. If it's cool, I'd like to have an addict and somebody who knows about this. So you might be addicted to drugs or to alcohol, I don't know, but somebody knows about it.
Can we change that to who cares about it? Like in the and it could be that abuses this knowledge, but it could also be being passionate about that person. I don't know. It's then.
Yeah, we can have that outcome. We have to.
Yeah, and it can go in both directions. I would like to have like two antagonistic characters, one visionary and the other one skeptical.
Yeah, that's a very real dynamic. I'm just like, thinking about work. Cool. So we got our relationships. Now we're going to pick names for our characters. We can just pick 1, 2, 3, 4.
Couldn't we just assign the relationships before picking the names? Because I don't know if my character's male or female.
Cool. Yeah, we can do that. Sure. Let's see. Sure. Let's do that. Do we want to roll for them?
Yeah, please.
Sure. Let's see if we can find
roll for your party.
Yeah. Is there also the DF? No. That's a We'll do. No, I'm just gonna because. Okay, so we're gonna roll D8s, I guess. Yeah. And if it's not there, you have to roll over again because you can't have custom amount of dice. Custom side dice.
We could roll using an Excel function.
Yeah. Cool. So I can start, I guess. So roll 1d8. It's a 1. So I get character X is my mentor. You want to roll, Tyler?
I certainly can. Let's see.
Now we can roll a D7.
Let's see. I got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Financer and expedition starter.
All right.
Garrett?
Okay, I roll a D6. So then I count from the unused, the first one. The first not used, the mentor one.
No, the mentor one was I already rolled that.
I see.
So forbidden romance.
Forbidden, yoo-hoo! I got it.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well. Let's see. Hopefully, I can play that over in Tyler's game soon. So
I have to roll a D5. So I roll a D10.
And
just submit.
There's also, by the way, the XDY
I
button.
forgot what? Ah, no, I haven't found it.
Oh, cool.
That's a 4, I think. Yeah, that's a 4. And that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4. The financier and expedition starter, we already had that one, right?
Yep, that's me.
Okay, then I have the visionary versus skeptical. Yay. I want to be visionary.
Okay, so I'm gonna see. We have a forbidden romance, and we have a financer, expedition starter, and visionary versus skeptical, like that. So that means we have 4 left, and I'm gonna roll one of those then. And I got another 1. So yeah, formally responsible and actual competent. Formally, yeah, cool.
Right.
That's interesting with the mentor thing. Let's see how that goes.
That could be neat. All right, I'm gonna re-roll the 6 for a D3. I got a 2, so that would be 1. So best buddies.
Good. I roll a D2. Let's see how that goes. Did you see the result?
Yeah.
There we go. I have a 2. Good. I have a 2. That's good. That means it's addict and someone who cares about.
And then I've got husband and wife.
Yep. So yeah. I guess the easiest way to assign, we can see how this works. The easiest way to assign relationship would be to do like use the game table thing, where we take one to the character on each side. Instead of maybe it doesn't say explicitly how to do it actually, but we can try that out and see how it goes. If it doesn't make any sense, then we can change it. So I'm gonna say Tyler's character is my mentor. And maybe
Tyler, I thought you had the addict and someone who cares about it.
Garrett had that one, I think.
Yeah, that's Garrett.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I have something else. No, you had
No, I might have wrongly put that. Yeah.
Oh, you have both. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, Tyler.
I think Tyler had the best buddies.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best buddies. Yeah. I wrongly copied that, I think.
Okay.
All right, so I have, excuse me, the financier, goodness, sorry, stupid allergies, I hate spring. Financier and expedition starter, so I would be the financier and I should pick someone to be the expedition starter.
The other way around. Whatever.
Or I could do the other way around. I think I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to mirror that with Mikhail because I think that seems pretty cool because you've got the formally responsible and actual competent. And I think I'm going to do the financier and have you be the expedition starter.
Cool. I'm like thinking about maybe it would be interesting to actually still have you as my mentor It would be like
that
a
still works.
yeah, interesting dynamic, and also make Sabina's character the actual competent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I think like probably that my character is like the kind of is like quite charismatic for being in academic circles, and it's like this. He just like uses. I think this was also based on your research. Like your research pointed to this place. I was like,
Okay.
oh yeah, let's make an expedition. I know some people. Maybe you can get some money for this. And then like suddenly, my character is the responsible for the typical like honor grabbing white man.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. So I'm the person who actually knows about this civilization and the discovery we're about to make. Okay, I like that.
Garrett, you got one?
No.
Not yet.
I'm not sure yet. I have the feeling that mine are like on this social dynamics level. I have the feeling that I first want to understand even better what expedition roles, organizational roles we have.
Okay.
Like, for example, who is husband and wife? So before I decide about the romance.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
I mean, to add the complication, we could make that my character is also your partner. It would be, but it doesn't have to be. It seems very toxic. But
you have your two relationships filled, I think.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, and Tyler has one of them filled, and I have none of them filled yet. Okay. Sorry,
no worries.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to wait on the best buddies to give y'all a chance to decide on some of these other social ones. I don't want to like put y'all in a box.
Well, I guess I should be married to somebody, and I actually think I like the idea that I'm the wife of somebody, because it would be typical that some guy comes along and takes my research for his own. And if I'm married to Garrett's character, he has more options for his. No, he doesn't. Or maybe he does.
I do. I have. Yeah, I have Venner in romance. So I'm your husband.
You're my husband, or you're my wife. You could also be my wife. I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah. What do you prefer? I think your argument was fine. That I'm happy to be your
okay.
wife.
So you're my husband. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes, that's also like a thing. Like there's also in addition to challenging scenes, we have like this scenes that makes about like more social. We have social scenes as well. That has like so we'll have the opportunity to also resolve some of that stuff for positive as well if we want to.
Mikael, since I'm not sure if I ever had a romance with you in a game. I had already with Tyler, I'm sure. So I would prefer having you as my romance.
Yeah, cool. I'm fine with that.
I have started at the bottom with the relationships to also edit the matrix with the relationships. Just in case.
Cool. So we're lacking the addict one, the visionary skeptical one, and the best buddies.
Well, Garrett, do you want us to be best buddies, or do you want
Yeah, I need somebody to talk about my affair, I think.
Okay. All right, then let me go with that then. Then you and I
We
are
are
best
best-
buddies.
Yeah, we are best buddies. Yes.
And Tyler, since you're the financer and maybe you're the visionary in this whole thing, and I'm a bit more skeptical about the whole idea of just going out there half-cocked and just because I had this idea.
I think that's an excellent idea, and then that plays into you being the really competent one who knows what they're doing, and I'm just pie in the sky. Oh, we're gonna find things in the cold, and then we'll leave. It'll be great. Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah, then we have just the addict one left, right?
Yes. So I'm missing a relationship with. I have one with Sabine and one with Michael, one with Tyler.
You don't have, you do? Yeah, you're my husband. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
we're wife and husband.
Okay. So we have a relationship. Yay.
So I could imagine that my wife cares about an addiction, but I could also imagine that you have the addiction, Sabine.
Oh,
But you are skeptical, so maybe you are more kind of a rational person.
I am. That doesn't mean I don't need a little. There was in Germany in the, I think it was in the 30s or something called Women's Gold. It was a lot of alcohol and some herbs, and you could drink it to calm your nerves. So maybe that's it. She just she just needs her little pick-me-ups.
Yeah, this fake medicine, which was just schnapps. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Close how we listen, guys.
Yeah, the old patent medicines. Yeah, with laudanum and cocaine in them and stuff.
Yeah, mommy's little helper.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make sure you have the opportunity to punch up, at least for my part. I hope. If not, I'm gonna feel terrible. I'm gonna hope I'm gonna give your character the opportunity to punch up and break loose of some of these horrible things that they're enduring. Let's see. So, yeah, then we got all our relationships. The next thing we'll do is that we'll define some traits about our characters. We'll also give them a name, possibly. We can make a name first, maybe, and then you see like there's some traits under there. I'm gonna go through them like very quickly once we have made some.
We're Americans. I'm just assuming for some reason, or British people.
I kind of like British actually. Like it's
British.
like with this like these kind of like expedition things in that.
Yes.
They're like I'm thinking like Bird and
very good.
Yeah.
Scotland.
Yeah, the Brits are always really good about that.
Well, at least like from our colonialist perspective, I would say. But yeah, it makes it easier if we go for the colonialist expeditionary who doesn't, who is just there to justify their crime by exploring other relicts, other cultural relicts. Yeah,
that's it. Discovering what people have known about for ages.
Yeah. So,
my character's name is August.
Oh, very masculine.
oh, then I will also go for a Roman emperor, I think. I'm Hadrian.
Ooh.
Like Hadrian. Hadrian's Wall. Yeah.
Very nice.
I think I'll follow then in pattern, and I'll be Julius.
Yes.
Great. I'm thinking I could be Octavia.
Oh,
not?
yes. So who's the most dictatorial?
I think Mikael and I are actually the same. But, well,
Yeah. So yeah, now we define our traits. The first one is our history. So something about our character's past life, profession, training, or other defining knowledge. What we're going to use this for is like to solve problems in scenes. So you're going to like, okay, so we have this challenge. How can I use my history or other traits to get a die so I can more easily solve it? So it's like there's other things as well. Like they will get exhausted. We can't use them all the time. It's stuff mechanics there, but it's useful to think like a little broad. So you don't have like I don't know, professor in microbiology or something. Maybe I don't know. Make it a little broad so it's easy to incorporate. Yeah, I think my character is an anthropologist.
very nice. I missed.
No idea about what's going on in this place, really.
I'm an archaeologist. I know what I'm doing. Maybe.
Yeah, and actually the better anthropologist as well.
I wouldn't say it. But only because I'm very modest.
So then I'm the scout, the nature guy.
Yay.
The explorer.
Explorer scout, yeah.
And I think I'm going with an educated noble.
Ooh. Yay, gentry.
Yeah, it made me think about that. What is called the new game about I'm getting like a Kickstarter message with gentry all over the place. It's the what's it called? Good Society.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm playing that right now.
Yeah, that's a thing I want to do as well. But
yeah, Michael X is running it, and I like Haley's games. That's a Haley and V game, and they did Alas for the Awful Sea and some other stuff. It's interesting. It's still rough right now, but it's interesting.
I'm definitely gonna get that to the table at some point. But I'm firstly focusing on the games I actually have physically in my shelf, so we'll see. The next thing is method, the way your character approaches problems or conflict.
Conflict has so many dimensions. Is it mainly social or?
The conflict's everything, I think.
Yeah.
Between us. Yeah.
Conflict or problem. So it could be like, it doesn't have to be like universal. I could say something like, I usually care about, like for example, I'm very process oriented or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I have something more flavorful than that, but I've worked with like leadership development, so I'm a bit damaged that way. Let's see.
I'm a very methodical person. Just rational, logical. Yeah, I like that. Maybe I'll go for rational, I think.
I'm going with reckless and enthusiastic.
Yeah, I love you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do not reckless, but I'm gonna. I don't know what was the correct word. I think like August is the kind of person who doesn't really he doesn't really. He's not really very thorough with those kind of things. He's just like slides through of the social graces usually. I'm gonna say. I don't know a good word for it. Lackadaisical, maybe. It's a little too negative. I don't know. It's like
jump to conclusions, or
yeah. That's a kind of like he's probably like a little overconfident and just like says, yeah, he says the first thing that falls into his mind and just like does it. Rash.
There we go.
I'm a harmony searcher.
That's good.
Yeah, there we have all of you have one, and the next one is cause. So that's your character's ideology, morality, worldview, or personal motivation. So pretty much like drive, I guess. Yeah. What is like driving your decisions?
Glory.
I think it's actually curiosity because I really want to see this. Yeah. No, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I want something. Have something a little out of character since he's pretty much all horrible so far. In my head, at least.
I want to explore my identity with my best buddy, my wife, and my lover in the group.
Wow, that is going to be an interesting, complex relationship down here in the caves.
I think actually, like it's to like expand, just to expand the knowledge of like the collective knowledge of the humankind, really.
Noble.
Yeah, noble. Yeah. Of course, he does nothing to help that with his personal research, but. So, and then lastly, we have fear. So the thing your character deeply dreads, dwells upon, or is anxious about.
I think I'm going to go with being alone.
Yeah. It just being a failure.
We have so much. Like we have at least 2 locations with like potential worshipping, and we have an anthropologist and archaeologist and talking about ancient cultures or something. So I think I'm afraid of the supernatural and the.
Very good.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of opportunity for being afraid of that, I think.
Earthquakes. You
So
can
cool.
see the signs.
That's like pretty much our setting characters ready to play. I'm gonna go like very quickly through like the structure of the game, and then we're gonna have a short break.
Yeah.
Before we start play. So pretty much, I have tried to describe like basically what the different scenes does, like more in detail on the next, like the info sheet. Don't look at that yet; you'll be confused possibly. But like the basic structure of play, we describe our scenes and like the regular story time game gist say where we are, who's there, and what's going on. There's different kinds of scenes in this game. There's the challenge scenes, which is where we will overcome some of these challenges we have down there on our locations. And then we'll like resolve them and discuss like how what happens if we don't manage to resolve them, or if we resolve them, or what's going on. And then there's also social scenes, which is an opportunity to, well, basically when we in the challenge scenes, we use our character cards, which is like all these relationships and traits. If we fail our role for overcoming the challenge, I will go more into detail when we go into the challenge scene, but then we will exhaust our card. That like one of our cards, we can choose which one is most appropriate. So the way we get them back is by having social scenes, where we either have conflict or camaraderie. If we have conflict, we gain one of our character cards back, and if we have camaraderie, we get one of the other players who is the other person in the scene a card back. So basically, that's like the economics of the game. There's also some small other things, but I'll get into that. That's not the most important thing. I think basically that like is the basic outline. You go into the challenge scene, you find out which traits you have that's relevant. You roll one dice for each thing you bring in. Up 4 and more is a success, which will bring down the severity, which is we will decide at the start of the scene by 1 for each success. If we have 0 at the severity at the end of the scene, we manage it. If not, we have not managed it, and we'll have some consequences. And then like we can get our cards back by having these social scenes. So we'll pretty much like we'll do that until we have no challenges left. So it's 5 challenge scenes and social scenes as appropriate. If we see that we are low on time, we can of course cut back on the socials, the challenge scenes. So in this way, it's easy to manage time in this game. And yeah. So I think like that's a basic outline of it. You can now go be confused in the break a little bit, and I'll make sense of it when we get back. We play for 3 hours. That's the plan, at least until 9. So is there any immediate questions? Oh, cool. Let's take a 5-minute break. We can be back at like let's say 1:15. Cool.
I practiced your last name over and over and over again. I hope I got it right. Tatsir. How's that?
I mean, it's not the best, but also nobody really knows how to pronounce my last name if they're not from Norway. So that's why I also was like, yeah, I mean, I can show you how much you want, but it's just it's not you. It's just the name.
But I bragged about you considerably.
Oh, thanks. I'm very flattered.
How do you pronounce it? Okay, now I'm curious.
Tysvær.
Okay, I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, no, it's a horrible name to pronounce. Apparently, I had like this one time when I was traveling in Cuba, and we were like, I was traveling with a friend, and we were at the wrong gate, and they were like, keep calling my name, and I didn't recognize it because they were calling it so wrong. So I missed the plane. So that was didn't even react to the name. So yeah, there you go. It has its backsides.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I mean, it's been fun running this. I'm almost out of story games I haven't played now, actually, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, we've done a lot of these GM lists now together, and it's been interesting because I've always had a bit of a love-hate with GM-less games because they can often get a little bit aimless. But playing them, because we played a lot. I played some with Garrett, and it's really broadened like my knowledge of the games, and some I've been better in than others, but it's all of them been neat.
Yeah, I had the same thing too, actually. But yeah, it's also, I realized it's also a skill to play them properly, because yeah, they rely quite a lot on the players usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's good that we have like already a play culture in place for GM-less games. I think that's especially important.
Yeah, it's true. It
Because
also
you don't have like this one vision of one person who is then defining things. And yeah, I'm looking forward to play live action online games with you, because they just, I think, go even one step further, like totally free forming, no structure really.
Yeah, before we start again, I'm gonna say one more thing. It's also, I've been thinking about doing more of that too, like for the festival games and stuff. Try to running like those kind of free-forming things, but then I have to like hack them a little bit usually. So, but we'll see. It's like a teaser for future things to come. So yeah, yeah. Back to our game of Perseverant. We have so the first thing we're gonna do in play is to frame a challenge scene. The first thing is to like draw a location card. So you can roll a dice for that. I'm just gonna roll it, I think. Let's see what happens. So we draw a 2, and that's a burial shrine. Cool. Current scene. Burial shrine. And then, oh, shite. Well, shrine. And then let's see. After drawing the location, the scene framer takes a few moments to do. Okay, so I'm gonna frame the scene then, I guess, since I was since I'm showing you the way. We'll see how well it goes, but yeah. So frame the scene, detail to the group, try to make it evocative and delivering in character if desired. The location is the setting for our challenge. Before jumping into description, the framer rolls a die to determine the scene's trouble from the list. So there's like a list in the book with like a 1 to 6 and then different troubles. There's the 1, an unexpected attack, 2, a previous choice haunts you, 3, something breaks, 4, an environmental threat, and 5, an internal threat, and 6, an unsettling development. This trouble helps inspire the framer to define the flavor of our challenge by combining it with the challenge source. Okay, so when do you introduce the... Okay, so well, I guess also what about the challenge source then? Just not any problems here. I'm just gonna look back into my book for a second. It's a little bit unclear. Okay, so I think we're just gonna roll the die and see what challenge source fits here somehow, and see if that makes sense. Let's see here. So I'm gonna roll a d6 for, and that's a 1, so it's an unexpected attack. Cool. Well, at least we'll have an opportunity to see if maybe some supernatural fear comes into this. Okay, so I think like to set the broad scenes first, we have just like I think actually we are still in like this.
I've got a question. What is don't we have to decide on a challenge source for the scene? I'm sorry, but maybe not. Maybe I understood this wrong.
Yeah, it's not entirely clear when you decide it.
Ah, okay.
So I'm gonna check for one more time, but I think.
See, it says something about after announcing the trouble, the framer draws a source card from the stack.
Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna roll one more time, I guess. Let's see how this works then. Roll a d5. See if it comes up here. Okay, I guess I'm gonna roll a d10 and put in 2 instead. Okay, so we got the 4. And that's mental pressure, huh? Okay, cool. Yeah, I like this. Okay, so I think we're still in like this. It's like this big cave, and you see like these. I think there's like these caves going in where like we found people to live. Probably have like remnants of I don't know, tools and food and stuff. We didn't really get to see through all of those things because like pretty suddenly there was like this earthquake and we all went to shelter, and you see like the dust going up. And I think we're all like in this one cave that we jumped into, and when we I think you see like in the background, you see like this smoldering like pile of rocks in front of the entrance where we went in, and then the camera like pans to August like looking in the other direction, and you see like the what was the end of the cave now has like crashed down, and you see like this. I think you just see like this. It's like this big like pretty like big cavern there, but it's not very tall. Like you have to bend over, like it's maybe like 120 in height or something, and you see like these remnants of bone everywhere, and there is like pieces of pottery and what seems like shards of metal or tools or something that are like close to like each body, and it goes like in for like a long way. And I think he like and then it's like this dust of it's like this dust that comes towards us and like goes over us. And I think when he says like, guys, you hear like the echoing inside the cave, but it seems like it's almost like another voice saying them every time. And it looks at you and like, oh, that was scary. And I think you see like this flickering of light in the end of the tunnel, like coming closer. What the hell is that?
There shouldn't be anyone else down here.
Julius?
Be quiet, be quiet. I think I hear something. Something which shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here, actually.
Well, we are. So we have to find a way out. I assume.
This is a labyrinth. Like, it's nearly impossible to find a way out here anymore.
Well, come on, Julius. We have no choice, really. You're Julius. Oh my God. Dear God, well, who are you? You are Adrian, aren't you? Well, Adrian, dear, I think we have no choice. We have to look for a way out. I'm reasonably certain there was not only one way in.
And think of it. This is going to be a whole new discovery. Adrian, we're seeing things that no one's possibly seen in ages. Though there really shouldn't be a light ahead of us. Unless perhaps there is another way out.
It's possible, I assume.
I think you see like August like abruptly turn to you both, like saying that no, there's no way going through there.
Well, we have to. I mean,
Quiet. There's the voice again. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Is it just our own echo? I'm sure.
I don't hear anything, Adrian.
Neither do I.
Just promise me, Julius, no nonsense. Whatever you do, first, let me go, all right?
If you insist, Adrian, but there's no reason to get ourselves all worked up at this point. Just remain calm, lad. It's going to be fine.
There could be another earthquake any minute. Then we are completely blocked here, or everything collapses here.
Then maybe we should get moving instead of talking.
Yeah, the whole system is not stable anymore. Let's go.
I think we're going to stop there for a second and like see what our challenge's severity is, and also like I think from where I'm seeing it, it's probably like we don't know about the spirits yet, but I think also this is a lot mental, being trapped in here. That's how I'm seeing it, at least. So what we do now is to determine the challenge severity, and also that's now we were supposed to, like, after I introduce the trouble, we're supposed to draw the challenge card, but that makes sense now. So we have already done that, so that's fine. So to we got then a 4. So that means if the die face value is less than or equal to the number of players, then the severity equals the face value plus the number of players. So that's not good. We have a very difficult challenge. It's a severity of 8.
Ow.
Yep. So the way it's gonna work now is that we'll go as I think we're gonna do as the one. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna steal from follow and say that the person who frames the scene decides who it's most likely that would do the first thing to address the challenge in the scene. And I think that is probably Octavia because she's rational.
Yes. Yes, well, Octavia will try to ignore the whole blathering about spirits and lights and things because she thinks it would be better to get out. She will mostly try to motivate her husband not to panic and be rational about the whole thing. And besides, she's an archaeologist. This isn't the first cave-in she's ever been to, mostly. And then I think I'll just roll. Or should I tell more about what I'm doing?
That's fine. So what you do is you choose which traits. Yeah, you have already said a bit of that. Like you draw in the relationship with your husband, and you're rational, and you're archaeologist, right?
Yes,
yeah,
right. That's it. And I roll one die. I roll 4 die, right?
Yes, you roll the amount of things you put in plus 1 die.
Okay. So I have to find the 4. Submit. I'm all the green things, and I've got 3 successes.
Excellent.
And I think I'll exhaust my relationship with my husband. Yes. Yes, I'll do that.
How does that look like? How do I think like that makes it interesting to like have like a short clip of how that looks like when your husband like doesn't gets afraid or something. I don't know, since to annoy you while you're doing this. Like what do you do?
I roll my eyes very firmly at him and tell him that he should get himself together. He's an Englishman, and Englishmen don't panic, even though we're in a cave-in. And it's probably gonna get worse.
Yeah.
I consider that. Be quiet. The voice again.
Not the voice again.
Yeah, and I think August says something like, yeah, it does make sense. Maybe they have put some. Maybe there is something strange about these burial things, the rituals they've done. Maybe that's what could be. And I think I can go. I can go next. I think I'm drawing in I'm formerly responsible, so I'm trying to like pull myself together to like be the responsible, since now the competent person has risen to the plate. So I'm like looking over. Yeah, you're probably right. This is no problem. I've heard like some of these tribes have I think some of these tribes have some that they put their bodies in caves that so that there would be especially good echo. I think it was like to signify that they had that the places were like echoes of their past lives. I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah. I think I know where.
And I'm gonna draw in anthropologist as well.
Yes.
Let's just try to go through. So yeah, I'm being a rash decision maker. Let's see. So I'm gonna roll 4 dice as well. Oh.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, that's 1 success.
That's good. One success is good.
I think like as August like starts walking into the cave to like show he's leading the way. I think there's like this like very like strong blow of air coming through the cave, and he like falls over by it, like trips over like like old pot or something and breaks it, and like and you see like his terrified face looking up and like oh, and I think I'm gonna I'm gonna exhaust my anthropologist for that, and also formally responsible. I think it's very clear that I'm not competent in this one, and exhaust that one. I guess I'm also the rash decision maker. I guess I'll be more careful next time.
Do we X out anything that fails? Is that what the mechanic is there?
If you
number 4.
Yeah, when you fail, you exhaust the number of fails you have. It doesn't have to be the ones you use.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And also, Garrett, I saw your excellence totally fine. Gotta keep that in mind. Do any of you have any ideas for a thing you can do?
You want to go, Garrett, or want me to go?
I still don't get the system, so I would like to see how you do it.
Okay. I think as we see August move in and tumble over, Julius is going to move over to you, Adrian, and going to kind of put his arm around you. Adrian, we came all this way. It's just the echoes in the caves. I need you, man. I need you to keep your senses about you. You're the best one to go. Poor August. You can see that he's not really the one who should be moving first. Adrian, I need you. Come on, man. Buck up. Lead us forward. And we're going to discover magnificent things together. And so I think I'm pulling in my best buddy.
Yes.
I'm pulling in the glory. And I think that probably is the ones I'm pulling in. I don't, it could, well, I think I'll pull in that reckless and enthusiastic. Okay. Yeah. So that will give me 3 things I pulled from there, plus 1 for just rolling, correct?
Yeah.
So that gives me 4. And I'm going to re-roll the selected and roll terribly. I got 1. Which means I need to X out 3 things. I'm going to X out my reckless, though. There we go. And I guess I'll X out my glory.
Yes.
And I'm going to keep that best buddy, though, because I want to use that more. So I'm going to do I'm going to do educated noble. All right. And I think this probably looks like, and Garrett, you could play off of it how you'd like. But as I'm trying to comfort you, I suppose I don't know how you come back at that. But I'm kind of pulling you close and trying to buck you up.
I take your hand, and you can see, maybe my camera is too small, but we both have the same ring. Since we were teenagers, we made this ring, and we carry the same ring, and I'm carrying your ring. And I'm going over that ring, and as long as this ring is on my finger, I will always be there for you. You know that.
I know, my friend.
Yeah. So I do tiny steps forward. Put my hand on August's shoulder, which is another gentle strike. And then it's time to move forward.
So just to stop for a second, do you did you get the rules now? If not, I'm gonna stop and explain it one more time, so you don't have to fumble in the dark, because that's not fun.
It's just a fog, not a darkness anymore. So I think I can make it. I will try it. You can correct me. All right.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
In between I had like a bad connection. I think there I missed a couple of words. So we have. Is it that we are still in the scene until the severity is brought down?
Yeah.
Until everyone has had a scene. So this is the last scene of the challenge thing. So you need to bring down 3 severity. So that's
all right. And the challenge is the mental pressure of being enclosed for such a long time. And I can pick now from all my properties until I feel comfortable to roll that many dice.
yes.
Okay. I was just approaching August, and I think I think I would like to use my romance relationship with August in this. And I'm an explorer, so I will definitely use that. And I can't really say that currently it's about harmony, therefore I'm still a little bit too shocked. And whenever I do something with August, I think it's already about exploring my identity.
But your fear plays a huge role, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And my fear, the fear I can also pick. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reverse relationships I can't take, right? It's not that like Octavia as my wife is not something on my table.
No.
No. Okay. I see. Interesting. Okay, so that is then 4 dice for me.
Yay.
And
come on.
I'm here, I'm close to August, and looking into his eyes, and now I roll the dice to see how the scene goes. All right? It's the right. So, and I have, and everything 4 and above is a success.
Yes.
You did
So
it.
I have 3 successes.
Yes.
So I brought the severity down to 0.
Yes.
Don't know yet what that means, but I don't need to burn anything, right?
It means we resolved the challenge. You exhausted 1 of those because you had 1 failure.
For every failure I exhaust 1. Okay.
So yeah.
Let's see. Then first we resolve the scene and then delete, erase one of my properties. Okay, so August, please. I look deeply into your eyes, and you can see a tear in my eyes. I still hear these voices, August. I can hear them. Do you hear them as well?
I think like August. I think this is like a pretty like short moment while you like hold my hand on the shoulder, and I take my hand on top of yours for like a second, and like I look empty like into like the big cave, and I say, "Yeah, I can hear them." With like a 1,000 miles stare, and then I look up at you and say, but you can overcome them. I know you can.
Yeah. Then I look over into Octavia's direction because we are showing a little bit of affection here in front of her, and her strict look from her face is like immediately making me look away again. And I look over to my body, to Julius, turn around, and make a step forward. I will face this, whatever it is.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, that was our first challenge scene. We can strike out the mental pressures already. It was interesting to get that one as the first scene. And we can go to the left and have a new. We can have let's have some social scenes first. Also, for it's a lot of fun to play with that here. So I'm going to explain shortly what that means.
Just one quick thing. Is there any kind of guidance on what I should erase? Something I have used or something I don't find interesting, or
anything that makes sense fictionally.
Fictionally. Okay, it should make sense fictionally. Thank you.
So for example, like when I look at your thing, I definitely make sense to like erase the supernatural, fear for supernatural, like conquering this. Or it doesn't have to be, but yeah, for example, it could be.
Yeah, so something which happened, not something which is of interest still. Yeah.
I mean, it will still probably come back if you want to, because you can do it in a social scene so that you get your exhausted cards back. Cool. So are we ready for? Does anyone want any social scenes? Everyone, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I was expecting. So I was just. So these are optional, but of course we love our social scenes, and there's a lot of unresolved tension to have fun with here. I'm gonna explain like very short how it goes. It's these are pretty simple scenes. Like a social scene must just like create a camaraderie or a conflict, and relate to our journey or relate to participating characters' relationships. If you create a conflict, then the framer returns one of their exhausted cards to their hand, and if the scenes focuses on camaraderie, each reacting character returns one of their exhausted character cards.
Okay.
And that's all like the guidance you can set the scene yourself, say who is in the scene, what's going on, and then we can just play from there. And also there's a thing that if you're not allowed to enter the scene if you're not put in it, if you don't have a permission from the person who's framing it. Does anyone have any ideas for social scenes after this?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I would like to have a social scene with Julius.
Okay.
And I think after we've left the burial site and make Octavia will fall in line next to Julius and look at him and say, "Thank you for keeping Adrian moving. You're so much better with him than I am. I don't know. Everything I say to him comes out as a criticism, or he thinks it does, or maybe it is. I don't know."
Octavia, we're both well aware that Adrian and, honestly, my dear boy, August, they have very vivid imaginations, and these sorts of things are going to occur. We just have to keep them on the right path, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're here, Julius, because you seem to have your head in the game most of the time.
Are you and Adrian doing well? You say that it sounds like you don't communicate well anymore.
No, we've never had, really. We were both studying and writing, and I think some things fell by the wayside.
You were so young and so in love, though, when you first met. I remember seeing you. It was beautiful.
Yes, it was romantic, but I think it was like a dream sometimes. I think I fell in love with what I thought Adrian might be and didn't even look at the real man. You know it better than I do.
Adrian he's a special person. I've never known anyone with such a verve of discovery, such a brilliant mind.
Oh, well, yes, there's that. I'm glad you're his friend, Julius. And she pats your arm, and I think we can call it a scene.
I think that's good.
And I think you can de-exhaust one of your cards.
Cool. I think I'm going to get rid of the reckless enthusiastic. I think I'll...
Wait, that wasn't what I meant to say. Okay. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I think I want to have a scene with Adrian for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the party
Mhm.
split.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we're all talking about our relationships, right? I think it's like we're I think we're like off. We made camp for the evening, and it's like we're at the like. I think it's not. Well, we don't really know if it's evening, I guess. But it's like at the end of the like big burial mound thing, and I think like August has taken you to like look at some of the things we passed, like in the end of it, while Octavia and Julius is talking.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you need my help because I'm pretty strong. So if there's something I could like break out of the ice or something for you to have a look at. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think
Something
like this is like an ice cave. That's it is. I now see it before me. It's like this crystallized thing coming down from the ceiling with like solid like sharp ice. And I think like August he says I think he's like, so yeah, this is a pretty remarkable discovery. It's I never seen anything like this. It's incredible.
Aren't you at all afraid?
I think like August like stops walking for a second and then like turns over to you. And his face is like pretty solid, and I think he sees biting his lip, and it's just like there's no space for being afraid down here.
There's no space for much at all. And at that moment, I make a wrong step, and suddenly there's like ice crystals falling from the ceiling of the cave, and it's like glitter going over my face.
Yeah, and I think seeing that like August hesitates for like a second, and like moves closer to you a little bit, and like tilts his head, and says like, "Did you do that on purpose?" Like smiles at you.
For the first time since the earthquake, you see me smile. Like, you think I have supernatural capacities? No, this is just happening. But with you, together with you, always such things happen to me.
Yeah, I think that embarrasses August a little bit. Like you see him he like he smiles and then like steps back like one small step and says, "Oh, we should be working though." Oh, I think you see that conflict in his face, like it's, and he takes, I think he like takes his hand on your like shoulder plate and like strokes you back, but like leading you towards like the like to where we are going to,
Yeah.
and it's just like, Adrian, we need to keep getting out of here and focus. You know how much I love getting distracted by you, but and it like just like breathes out like silently, and it's like I think it like lets it hang in the air.
Yeah. Let's try. If you can help me here with getting this piece out of the ice, I think we need 4 hands to break it out.
Yeah, and he bends down and does that. I think we cut the scene there.
Yeah.
Nice, nice scene.
Cool. I was aiming for it to be like a little conflicty. That was my goal, because I wanted to refuse you like what you wanted. Even though it didn't escalate very much, but that was what I was aiming for. If you,
I can't, because I'm such a harmony seeker. I'm just too ignorant. But the tension is definitely there. Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep the escalation. I think there's a lot more to. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna take my rash decision maker uncrossed. It seems fitting.
Yeah. Indeed.
Cool. Does any of you other two have a scene in mind?
I do have one kind of in mind. I think I want to have a scene with August, and I am thinking, at least thinking a bit of conflict to it. We'll see how it plays out. But that's my initial thought. And we've set up this camp, and we've got our little camp stove. I'm guessing that we have like, because wouldn't be bringing torches, so I imagine we have something closer to like maybe kerosene or even like an electric type torch. But we've got our little camp stove going, and I take kind of lead August to the side, and August, leading into this, you saw how Adrian reacted. And, my dear boy, you stumbled right into the cave. You even broke one of the artifacts. We need to keep ourselves a little more together, a little more thinking ahead, lad.
Yeah, I think August like looks down like he's being schooled. He's just about to say like, I think he's just about to say like, yes sir, but then like says yes, and then looks up and yeah, you're right.
There are going to be more problems like this ahead, and Lord knows we can only hope to find a route out of here. But if we start splitting up, if we start running ahead, we'll get lost in here, and then, well, we'll surely die.
Yeah, you always talked sense to me, Julius. I can be a bit too eager sometimes, I know. I'm
right there with you, lad. You know how very excited I am about all of this. But we can't afford to lose anyone.
Yeah, and I think like you then at that like August starts like rambling about the things he found with Adrian. Like there's like they have like this pretty elaborate pottery. I wouldn't think that. Yeah, Octavia was quite excited about it. It seems it's incredible. If you only get out to show the world this.
Oh, yes, this discovery will make our names. We will we'll be in the history books, lad.
And he like I think he like kicks a stone into the wall, and you hear like the cavern, like the echo in the cavern is like, oh yes, and I'll be more careful.
Do try. Do try. I think that's probably seen. That felt like conflict in its way. Certainly not a over-the-top one. But I think I'm going to... That would be me erasing something. I think I'm going to get rid of that glory strike.
Yeah. Do you have a scene in mind, Gerrit? You mute.
I think I'm for the social scenes. I'm fine. Yeah.
Cool. Then we'll do our next conflict challenge scene. I'm gonna ask: is there anyone who has any ideas for? Well, we're gonna roll first. Let's just say we're gonna go from to the left on the table. So Tyler, you can roll the dice of locations.
All right. Okay, so should I still can roll all 8, I suppose?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1. What is that? Underground lake. Oh, cool. I love an underground lake. So do I frame up first and then we roll the challenge source?
We also have a D6 for the danger, which was the... We'll see how that works out. It seems not to make very much sense last time with the unexpected attack, but we'll see. I didn't incorporate that much, but it's a D6 also to be rolled.
Okay.
Trouble list.
All right, then I'm going to pull this one to the side. This is 4. Reroll it, and it's a 1.
That's another unexpected attack.
Oh, all right.
We can also reroll it to have something else if you want.
Well, we didn't, like you say, it didn't seem like we quite hit that, so I think that's cool. And we got an underground lake, so there's all sorts of coolness from that.
That's true.
All right. So now I frame up and then we do severity?
Yeah, so the severity dice and the challenge source is the same dice.
Oh, okay. So with a 1, that means we're going to have a severity of 5. Right?
No, because it's the one you challenge source thing you roll afterwards. So you frame the scene first time.
Okay. So time pressure to get out is our source.
So how this works is you do like the location, then you do the trouble die. You frame the scene, and then you roll for the challenge source, which is also the one for the severity.
Gotcha. Sorry for being fuzzy.
No worries. It's a lot of things.
Okay. I think we've, we rested for the night and we began moving out through the caves. I think we've seen several branches going off, and they've all been downsloping. And so we've been hoping for something up so we could at least find an exit. So we've so far not found anything up. So we've just been choosing as we go. And up ahead, we begin to hear water. And of course, it's completely black and dark. And as we exit one of the tunnels, this place opens just enormously. And we can, as our lights come in and it shines off of the ice that's covering the ceiling and the walls so that it shines all around and it's got this glitteriness to it. And dripping from the ceiling, we see little drops of water and little chunks of ice that are dropping into this really rather large water lake that's, stretching. I'm going to use our measurements because I can't ever remember how y'all's work. So it's a lake that's probably 60, 70 feet and has at the edges, we can imagine that it even continues on, like through a passage of its own. And we're on this rock beside it, and we can see where it goes along like the shore to an exit tunnel further on. And as we enter in, I imagine, there's a sort of silent awe of seeing this place glittering and its blues and whites and the water sort of out there. And as we come in, the water begins, you know, we've walked a bit and we're looking around. On the cave side, you know, here at the shore, the solid cave side, we can see behind the ice, almost like it's been framed in glass, that there are paintings and etchings that show various animals and people. It's not like they're hunting them. It's almost like they're going up to them and venerating them, or coming up, and they're with hands open to these animals. And we see seals and walruses all along there. When in the lake, we hear a loud splash that makes us all turn, and we can see ripples from the center of that lake. So that's our frame scene. Sound good to everybody?
Awesome. Let's see what challenge source it is. It's a D4 at this point, I guess. Yeah.
D4. All right. I will put that in. Oops. I didn't actually pick a die. There we are. Now I'll put it in. 3.
The cold.
Ooh. All right. And so our severity then would be...
It was a 3, so it's a 3 plus the amounts of players.
So 7.
Another pretty severe one.
All right. And so I start first. All right.
You used the one who frames the scene chooses the player who it's most likely to, you think is most likely to address the thing first.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's start with you, Sabine. You're our rational, reasonable person. Why don't you address our situational problem? You're muted, dear.
I'm sorry. I'm not muted now. Okay, so I will swallow, stiffen my back, take a little sip of my little helper, because that's always a good idea in these kinds of situations, and realize then that whatever this is, we should not.
Sabine, my dear, you might need to rejoin us.
I might need to rejoin you, I will.
Yeah.
Or Sabine.
Robot troubles. Yeah, it's a combination of you probably having a little lag and she's having a little robot voice, which makes it pretty impossible to understand.
And I'm back. And you hear
sound
me?
Magnificent.
Yeah, great. So I don't know what got through, but I will take a sip of my little helper because, well, it's a good idea, I think. And then I will quickly tell everybody that we should avoid, under any circumstances, to get into the water, to get drawn into the water or get splashed with the water, because it's really cold and hypothermia is a real danger to us. We should move as quickly and as quickly as possible. And then she looks at those paintings and at those murals and sighs a little bit, because she really, really wants to look at them.
I would even think about it.
What?
I would even think about it. They're too far away.
Yes, you are probably right, my dear. But they are so very interesting. I wish we had brought a photographer. Well, there's nothing for it, I guess. So onward, my dear fellows, onward. And I will roll. I will draw in. What will I draw in? My little helper, I think. If that's not on me. That's on you. I can't. So I am still rational. And I am still very, very curious about the whole thing because, well, I'm an archaeologist, damn it. But We have to go. I don't know. I think I draw in my rationality because I cannot really follow my curiosity. But I'll take the archaeologist. If that's okay with everybody? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. I was nodding and you couldn't see me. And
Yes, no, I couldn't. I was looking for some dice I could roll.
Yes. That sounds
So
good.
I'm taking in 3 dice. And let's see what I roll. Reroll. There we go. Oh, okay. I have a success, but only 1. And I have to strike 2. I'll strike the archaeologist, and I'll strike the curiosity because, well, that didn't work out right now.
Yeah, what happens?
So I'm dawdling a bit, still looking at these amazing murals, and I'm stumbling a little bit because I'm looking at these things, and I'm stumbling. Actually, I'm putting my foot in, and I nearly fall into the water. But now I have a bad shoe, which actually is not a really good thing. That's okay.
Yeah, I think or I can I have an idea for a thing. I think August, like you see him like standing like this and like freezing while you're like looking at the paintings, and like, yeah, but I mean, we need to keep moving. This is too cold. I mean, we dressed for outside the polar weather, not inside. It's getting. I'm freezing into my bones.
I think the best way out here is to get to the other side of the lake. You see, there is an exit.
Yeah, and I think like probably someone like suggests like a safe route, and August is like, no, this is the quickest route. We need to get over there quick.
Through the water? Are you serious?
We could crack off a little, a sufficiently large piece of the ice, and then we could use it as a boat.
Yeah, I mean, you see there over there's like this big flake of ice. We can just use it as a boat and row with our. I mean, we have some. We saw some planks over by the like from the ruins. I think we can use it as an oar.
That sounds incredibly dangerous, but if you think so, August.
Also, we can like get closer to the murals and see what they are.
No, please not. This is. Let's get over this lake as quickly as possible. I take care that nobody is getting hurt, and nobody's getting wet. That's even worse. Just stay as close as you can on the platform on this piece of ice, and then we can get over there. Just need 30 minutes or so.
Well, sounds like we have a plan. What about whatever is in the water?
Is in the water?
There was some movement in the water.
We did hear a splash. It could have been perhaps just a piece of ice.
You're right, of course, Julius.
Yeah, I think like August says like, no, I was busy imagining how I would freeze to death down here if we didn't get out soon, leaving all this vast knowledge behind.
Who wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah. So I'm drawing in my rash decision maker. Of course, this is my gem, and I think also like I'm going to do like I'm trying to draw in the either the expand or collective knowledge, or being a failure by being like reflective on we have to get out to and not like die trying. So I'm going to use those. I'm going to use 3 dice for that then. And I hope I roll better than last time. No. Well, one success.
Well.
I think that this is a good time to explain some other mechanic in the game, which is that a character can become can die or get lost, and that happens if we don't manage a scene. We get a consequence, which means we all get a setback that locks one of our things permanently. And if that happens and we don't have any of our character traits or relationships at hand, then our character dies or it gets lost.
Ooh.
So that's absolutely on the table. So now that I failed and I have two less ones, I think I'm gonna strike actually Julius as my mentor because you supported this stupid decision. And then I'm gonna to the expand our collective knowledge, because who cares? We need to survive. And I think what happens is that, like as we're on the middle of the lake rowing, I think the like ice lake starts like sinking, and we're like we're not underwater, but it is maybe 30 centimeters of water on top of the ice lake. We're all standing on it. We're still like rowing. Like I was like, I think August is like, goddamn, we have to get over, and like throws over like one of the relics he got from one of the burial mound. We need to say wait.
Neat. Garrett, you want to go or want me to go?
Time for the explorer to save the party, I would say. So I rip out of your hand. I'm sorry about this. Yeah, Julius, I rip out of your hand one of the artifacts you really wanted to keep and use it as another row. Because we need to get faster, and I've seen another motion in the lake. And I have the feeling there's a stream in the lake. It's getting the earthquake must have made a crack, and now the lake is going down. Let's go faster, everybody! Fast! And I'm splashing water on our little plane, which means that it's getting colder and colder. We will be wet when we are on the other end. How can you help me, please? I'm especially asking for my wife, because I see that her bottle is half empty already.
Well, yeah, she will help you, of course, because I've already used my move, the scene, and I can't help you, but I will in the fiction, of course. Octavia will help you and will try to pass.
Dean,
I didn't get you. We don't get you anymore.
Yeah. Well, you don't get me at all. But
no,
it's bad.
Now it's better again. But for a moment, you were.
Do you hear me again?
Yes. You can just repeat.
Okay, so I think there is a move that I might help you, but I've already used my action for the scene and I can't. But I will, of course, help you paddle and throw stuff overboard that we don't really need anymore, which I judge by my archaeological whatever experience. Sorry. Archaeological experience. That's what I wanted to say.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So I think I need to roll the dice now, and I take the harmony searcher, and that my wife Octavia is addicted to some medicine. That I'm worried about that. But these are the only two I use. And the explorer. Sorry. So 3 dice. I'm an explorer. Come on. So I think the most left 3 and.
Can't you use 4? Sorry,
Yeah,
but
you get to add one for free.
One for free.
What for? Do I get to add
One for free.
One for free. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I roll. So I have 3 successes and 1 failure. So
You are our savior.
Good. Yes. Maybe.
yes, my strong arms. Look for something. Splash, splash.
Yeah, this is also a good time to introduce some other things we can do, which is betrayal and self-sacrifice. There is like some special things that if you betray one of your relationships, you get an auto success equal to the character cards on your hand in the challenge scene. If it's a social scene, you return all character cards to hand. Then you have to cross out all the relationships that you have with and then also betrayed character gets a setback, which means that one of their things gets locked.
Yeah.
There's also the self-sacrifice, which is pretty evident what that does. It's fictionally, but you overcome the scene difficulty immediately, and the character dies or gets separated from the group.
Ooh,
So I think
okay.
I think we can do it without. I'm just so good in exploring caves. And the betrayal I didn't completely get, so it's. But I don't have a relationship with Julius. Otherwise, I would have betrayed him in this scene. But I don't see a relationship there, so I can't.
All right,
only
so
an indirect relationship. Yeah.
all right, so I guess it's me. And I'm last, so I need to do well. All right, so as we're rowing across and we're heading towards this this exit, and we've made it, you know, most of the way across. We've gotten across 2/3 of the way, and we're all, you know, working, pushing, rowing, and so we probably don't notice that where the pot that August had thrown into the lake, that from that general area, we begin to see bubbles. And rising up out of the lake, we see the enormous head and massive tusks of this huge walrus. And Julius, looking back, goes, "Dear God, what is that thing?" Because, of course, it's still in shadow. But it makes this motion towards us, and a wave sort of sweeps across the back of our ice boat. It propels us slightly, but the water is coming up as this thing surges through the water towards us. Julius turns around and reaches into his pack and brings out his big Gurkha knife. You know, he would have certainly been up to, you know, to the Himalayas at some point. And brings out his Gurkha knife and stands there. "Get back, beast! Row! Row, damn you all!" As he tries to face off against this thing. And so I'm going to roll, and I'm going to use my reckless and enthusiastic, my glory, and I'm hard pressed to think of anything more I can use except, yeah, I think that's probably going to be it. I don't see anything else I could draw on, so that's 3 dice.
Go on. Kill us.
Come on, baby.
Yes.
Yes. So I lose one thing, and I'm going to lose that I'm the financier and August is the expedition starter, because I've kind of seen where August is getting a little throwing things away, kind of betraying what I had imagined our plan was. So at least in that scene, I think I'm going to mark that off as we, and to what it looks like as we we row, we get over to that other side, and this enormous beast, as we clamber off and are grabbing things, it up onto the ice that we just left. And a bunch of the stuff we have, including our some of our pack, like one of our packs, falls into the water as it and comes towards us. Me trying to hold it back with this Gurkha, and as it gets on the ice sort of tips and it splashes into the water, and an enormous amount of it comes up, catching Julius full with all the water as we clamber towards the exit of this room. And behind us, this walrus rises up and lets out the of a challenge, and we retreat from its little habitat.
Cool.
Take my hand.
And I think like part of the one crossing out the financier and expedition star is also Julius like not just being the financier anymore.
Mm.
At least in this scene, it makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
Cool. So now we are on for a new round of social scenes. Does anyone have any ideas they want to throw out?
Just one question. What is the consequence that we didn't completely solve the severity?
We did.
Ah, we did. We had 2 success. Okay.
Yes.
It was very close.
Again. There's some good role player among us. Do anyone have any ideas for social scenes? I have one, but I can wait for. Should I go? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes.
I think it's actually with. I think it's with everyone actually. It's like around the camp, and August is. He's been like pacing back and forth while others have been setting up camp, and he like stops. I think you're all probably like doing your duties like the camp duties. Like there's probably like a strict regime for doing that when you're on an expedition. And he says like a little bit out of nothing, like, you know what? I think it's. I think the most important thing is we get out alive. Like, which seems like a stupid thing to say, but for August, it's actually like the first thing that's occurred to him, that it's actually more important for us to come out alive than like getting this proof of this back to civilization. I would be. I mean, for you to die, we can't have that.
I think you may be right. We can always mount another expedition if we get out.
Well, we still can take little things with us. There will be enough proof of what we have discovered here, what you have discovered. Like we will all survive, and you become famous.
We will have to take enough to get financing for a second expedition, at least.
But we should probably concentrate on things that are easily carryable. And I think you probably see Julius as he's had to strip down and change into drier clothes because he got splashed, and so he's sort of shivering, and there's a bit of blue to his nose, and but yes, small things that won't slow us down.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you see like August is like, oh yeah, we're not dropping all the things now, but if it ever came to a decision, I mean, your security is my top priority.
Lovely. Tea?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, yeah. Please take a little thing of that special bottle you have in it. I could use some warmth right now.
Excuse me?
Hey,
What
wait.
are you saying? August.
No, I brought some brandy in the. What are you talking about?
Nothing. I was. It's very cold, and I haven't had my tea, so I'll get the brandy. Push.
Oh, yes. A nip will do us a world of good.
Yes, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think that's it. So you can all take one of your things back.
Yes.
Ah, okay, all of us.
I think I'll do the educated noble.
I think I want my husband back.
Aw.
I want harmony back.
Oh,
But since I also want the supernatural back, I would like to have a scene talking about what we just saw there. Julius, what did you see there? You were suddenly screaming. I couldn't look back because I was rowing the whole time. But you looked like as if you saw a ghost.
No ghost. It was some sort of beast. Have you heard of the walruses? Yeah. Enormous creatures, huge fangs. I think that this lake is no lake at all. I imagine that there's an outlet somewhere to the ocean.
A walrus. But that shall be responsible for that kind of noise? It was loud. I thought it was like a piece of ice crashing from the ceiling or something.
They're very enormous, and this one, I must say, was of exceptional size. It probably weighed as much as an elephant.
Wouldn't do anything to us.
Well, it damn near tried to kill me.
Like, did it think you're a competitor or whatever?
I can only imagine. I can't. Generally speaking, they're very territorial, but to attack us here in the water, that is unusual.
It is unusual, but it explains all the voices we have heard. So maybe we don't have to be worried at all. It was just the walrus all the time.
Well, I would be worried about the walrus, my friend. But you're right. Perhaps worries of spirit voices.
Yeah. We left the lake behind. And I think from here on it only goes upwards.
Sorry.
I think Julius kind of gets this smile on his face and just reaches over and embraces you. That's why I love you so, my boy. Your enthusiasm.
My enthusiasm. Scene.
So that sounded a little like a conflict where we were coming at different opinions. So yeah, you'll get to mark something off with that, I believe.
Yeah. Because it's a conflict, it's only me marking something off and you not? Or
Right. If it'd been the other way, then I would have marked something off and you wouldn't have.
Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I can mark something off. Good, thank you.
I wouldn't mind a scene with August. And as we've, we're walking along, and I think probably we are noticing that the angle is starting to go up. I like the idea that from the lake will go up. As Julius comes over, and August, I think you were right. In the end, it's going to be important that everyone survives this.
It like has the deep breath and it's like, yes, I would hate to get back to England without anything to show for it, but I mean, it's more important.
There'll always be a chance to come back if there's, well, if there's any of us to come back. I think I tell you, when you were a young man, you seemed so headstrong, so likely to just, well, follow your feelings rather than think about the longer-term consequences. This expedition is bringing out the best in you. You're growing, and it makes me so proud.
Yeah, I think you see, I think August takes his hand on your over your shoulder and says, "Well, old friend, I think you're wrong about assuming I've stopped doing that. But well, maybe I found more constructive venues getting older."
I think that's probably seen. That seems like a nice moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take back Ulysses, my mentor. I think you're back in my good graces.
Sabine, do you have something?
Yeah, I would like to have a scene with August too, but I'm not going to be so very nice. August, Octavia comes up to you and says, "We should talk about the distribution of the artifacts among the group members."
He nods and yeah, let's go.
Yes, and I think you should let me decide who gets what, because let's face it, I'm the better judge of these things.
I think you see always draw a long breath, this is being annoyed about it, and it says what do you mean you're a better judge?
We are here because of my research, August, not yours.
He scoffs at that and
You
says,
want the fame for this. You want to financing for a second expedition, so you let me decide. You know it's the wiser choice.
I think he positions himself so he's straight in front of you, and you see August is quite a bit taller than you, and he's looming a little bit over you, and says, "You think you think you would be anywhere without me, Octavia? Do you think that this research has put you here?"
Yes.
Because if you didn't get my help, you would still be sitting in your office and nobody would know about your research.
I'm pretty sure that Adrian would have convinced Julius sooner or later.
I think he shakes his head and says, "No, I'm doing you a charity, not the other way around."
I don't think so. But well, I will draw up a list, and then you can have your opinion on it. And then when we get out and you find that your choices were wrong again, well, then you can face the blame for that. And then she turns around and storms off. And I think that was a conflict.
I think so too.
And I think I'll take back my archaeologist.
Yeah, you deserve that.
And now it's gone. What was that?
Cool, then it's time for another of our challenge scenes. I think we are looking like we are not going to get through all 5 of them. But let's see if we can. If you can, at least, is there anyone who needs to like leave at 9 sharp? Because then we'll do like 1 challenge more and then try to round off.
I would actually like to break it off at 9.
Yeah, then we do that.
That would be great. I'm sorry, but I'm not that.
No, that's fine. I was just, it's good to ask because I was, yeah, that's why I asked in case that would be the case. Cool. So, Garrett, you get to do the rolling of location dice.
Oh yes. Oh, it's a d6, right? At the moment.
Yes.
D6 sounds good. And it's a 3.
So it's a fast-moving river.
Yes.
And
Seems we
then
need to go back to the lake.
yeah, and then yeah, that makes sense though. Like for our final challenge.
Yes.
Cool. So what you also need to roll a d6 for, and I interpreted this wrong. It's actually that dice that is the basis for the severity dice, not the other one.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of dice and cards.
And
But
just
So
to
the
bring up,
severity?
I'm sorry, and just to bring up kind of as a thought, since it's our final one, since it's a fast-moving river, we kind of said maybe going into the lake. It could also be leaving the lake. Therefore, we could, have it as a thought of
that is
getting
what I
out.
would suggest. Yeah, that will be my suggestion. Yeah.
Mhm.
Julius was already having the idea. It's in Adrian's mind. It's shaping. So now I roll a d5.
No, yeah, d6 for the trouble dice.
For the trouble dice, yes.
Then you frame the scene, and then you do the challenge source.
That's a 3.
So we get something breaks.
Something breaks. Yeah.
So based on
so it
that,
is.
you get to frame our last scene. When you frame the scene, we also draw a challenge source. But you can do the frame scening first.
Okay. I think I have doesn't it make more sense to have first the challenge source as well to get that in? So first of all, my idea is like, well, Julius, that is the idea. If the lake is connected to the ocean, and it broke it to pieces, maybe there's a way out somehow. Maybe it's the water is showing us the right direction, where to go. If it's flowing away.
Good thought, man.
Yes, but we need to be better prepared than just with a little plank of ice to go down there then. We don't have to be worried about getting wet then, because if we are out, then we are close to our way home. That should be the way out, yes. Let's just hope that nothing breaks.
Yes, let's.
And now I try the challenge swords as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a D3 left, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's a 3. That means we have our earthquake.
Yes.
Yeah. So so we need some time to prepare this properly. We built like a submarine out of ice, if that makes sense. Like something which is protecting us a little bit from the water. Then we go and try to get through this and have something to grab through our hands to, that nobody gets lost. Do you feel ready for this, Octavia? And I look at your bottle, which is getting emptier and emptier.
You should roll for severity before we go.
The severity is the trouble dice, so we already have a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh? Rolled. Oh, okay.
It's if it's under
Okay.
4, it's
Okay, no, I've got it. Okay, so 7 again. Great. What? Yes.
Do you feel ready for this?
A submarine made out of ice, darling. Maybe you should take something of this little helper. We cannot build a submarine out of ice. We can build a raft.
Yeah, just something which is protecting us from the stream, from the water, and maybe the walrus. Because if it's still in there,
Well,
it might attack us again. It somehow seems to be set up about Julius.
Well, looks a bit like him. Maybe thinks he's a mate.
Yeah, he's the alpha animal here, or something.
I'm sorry. No. That was inappropriate. Yes. Well. Yes, we should build a raft or something. Maybe we can use some of our ropes to rope together a few of those ice floes.
Okay, and I think at that moment when we start planning and everything looks fine, then the earthquake comes back and shatters us all. Now we can play the Star Trek Next Generation crew. I'll move a little bit like on our screen.
Vengeance will take you.
Ooh. Hurry up! August, over here. Let's go back on the plank. Julius, don't forget about your stuff.
Yeah, and August like grabs everything that's near him and like runs, and you see like this icicle like coming down right before him and like hitting the ground.
Okay. Everybody after me. I take care for the rest. I take care. I carry your stuff. No worries.
Come on, darling. We have to work together.
All right.
All of us. Who is the first to address the challenge?
Yeah. And I have to choose whom I put on the safest position, and I will pick August. And Octavia, I'm sorry. Looking at the two of you, I push August on the safest position.
Oh,
we have to save August.
What for?
Yeah.
August. I take 1 dice for August.
Oh, just one. You want us to die?
Yeah, and I take the Octavia that I'm worried about your addiction because I see you are taking just too much at once. I'm an explorer. I'm still helpful here. I'm not really a harmony searcher at the moment. I'm still not exploring my identity, but and the walrus is not so supernatural in the end. So I think I will take 3 dice plus 1 for free, so 4 dice. Correct?
Yes. Go.
And I have 2 successes.
That's good.
Yeah. And my romance is not so forbidden anymore, or not so hidden at least.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's proven now that I'm not the best explorer in the world. So the 2 are erased off, and we can see like all the jumping and stumbling forward onto the roof and going straight into the water, and we are on this river now and going, whoa, fast down there. See.
All right, so you pick someone to go next.
Oh, that is Julius, because the next, I guess, is the walrus. But who knows?
All right, so as we're rushing down this river, and we have grabbed what we could, but we're kind of in, we didn't get to make our plans as perfectly as we wanted because around us the shaking, and we can hear that sound of ice that's scratching against each other, that high-pitched kind of squeal of ice and the cracks. Behind us we see things falling and in the water splashing up. And Julius has, we're moving pretty quick in the flow of the river, so it's not like we have to row much. But Julius has reached into his pack, and he has brought out where he has these the inflatable like things to put around your neck, even though of course the cold of the water would kill us long before we drowned. But he's here, take these. If you fall in the water, we'll pull you along with the ropes. We'll get you taken care of. Don't worry, everyone. Come on, we can make it. We can make it through. And as he's pulling these out, we see him. He has where he had found this really beautiful golden idol amongst the things. And as he pulls the things out, it sort of slides out of the pack. And rather than put on his own, he grabs the idol instead and shoves it into his back. And so I'm going to roll. I think I'm going to use my educated noble. I think that sounded like the right thing. My reckless and enthusiastic, and my glory, because between the two of them, I'm still hanging on to that idol and wanting to get out of here with something magnificent. So that gives me 4 dice. Come on, dice. 2.
Wow.
And I am going to... I was thinking of everyone, but not really paying as much attention to Adrian. So I think I'm going to, in particular, on Adrian. So I'm going to mark that one. And I'm going to mark my being alone and isolated. I think that I don't think that's coming into this one. I think that one has been drifted to the side a little. So, you guys put on these things, and we see my little life bit go floating down to the side, and people have tied themselves off, but our camera will zoom in to see where Julius has not paid very much attention to the knot for his rope tying us together, and it's very loose knot that probably would slip. And I think, let's see who to have us end it with. I think I want to see August kind of be our ending one. So Octavia, why don't you go?
Okay, that's unfortunate because I really want to betray my husband now, but that would end everything.
Well, that's cool too, though.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so I think while we're drifting along pretty quickly on these ice rafts, something has to break, and that's when another earthquake hits and some rocks fall and hit the ice floe in the middle, and it breaks apart. And one part of it is the part where Adrian is on, and the other part is the one where the others are on. And Octavia, she has the chance to stretch out her hand to throw out her robe. But, well, he didn't seem to care so much about Augustus. She gives him a cold look and just lets him drift alone in the river. And she betrays him. Yes.
Adrian! Adrian!
Just go on!
Row, we've got to save ourselves. Adrian, my darling!
I will find you! You. Darkness.
Oh. Oh.
Yes.
That was cold.
Oh, well, hell has no fury.
Very true.
Yeah. So that ends our final challenge. Do we want like a small? Do we want like a small post social scene epilogue kind of thing to round it up?
Yeah, I have a setback now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just let's have like a small rounding up thing. I think so. We get out of like the. I think we like see our like floating out of like a hole in like this ice boat thing, and you see like our there's probably like an expedition ship or something far in the distance, and August like turns around and like first now notices that that Adrian isn't there, and it like looks back at like, what? Where's Adrian?
The roof caved in. We got separated. I
But-
couldn't save him.
Yeah, and I think like you saying that he looks at you and says, and looks like this stone cold look. I'm gonna go back and find him. Go to the ship.
August, you can't do that. It'll mean your death.
Well, I said I will bring you all back out. And if I can't bring Adrian out, then I might as well be. And I think it like storms off.
I think Julius gives a look to Octavia.
Should we storm after them?
I think first we should signal the ship.
Yes.
And
probably the better idea. And then we can go look for them with better provisions.
And I think he brings out a flare gun and fires it up.
Yeah, I think I'd like to like paint like a later scene where you see August like sitting at Adrian's bed in the ship, probably with his like it looks with his like feverish, and you see like a lot of like medicine things around, and just like, you're gonna make it, don't worry, you're gonna make it. I'm not leaving you behind. Not this time.
Yeah.
I have something for Julius here.
Okay.
Julius, when you are back on the ship, you find in your back pocket, you find the ring. It seems I have placed it there, so just in case I get lost, you still have this as a memory of us.
Is that to me?
That is, yeah, the ring, the ring we had, like, since we were teenagers, the same
Oh,
ring.
yes.
Yeah. there was
Oh,
this ring.
yes.
And that ring is in your back pocket, and I put it there. It seems at that one moment without you recognizing.
I think Julius looks at it, and we're probably, the ship's probably moving, and, a tear kind of forms up, and he looks down towards the hall, and we see the doctor coming out of the cabin you're in. Is he going to be all right? And the doctor just, so I don't take agency, the doctor's face is just very stoic.
Yeah, and I'm left without water, but completely wet, and I will soon freeze to death. But fortunately, I got the bottle my wife usually has, Octavia has, and I have an extra bottle I always have with me for her, without her knowing, and I drink that now because it brings some warmth back into my body and some memory. And that feels good. But the name I whisper is not hers. And also not August. But I say the walrus. The walrus can rescue me. It must be dead if I find its body. I will stay alive long enough that they can find me. Let's find the walrus, Adrian. You just need to find the animal that's big enough to warn you. Then I start crawling with a broken leg.
Oh.
Hmm.
Do you have one, Sabine, or you want me to go?
Just a short one. I think it's just a scene only with Octavia, and it's on the ship, where Adrian is lying in a sick bed, and Octavia is standing in front of the door, and you see her lift her hand, thinking about her knocking. Then she will twist her wedding band around her finger and then flee from the door and go to her little helper and let herself be helped by someone she can trust.
Yeah, I think also when you get into your room, you see like there's this there's like this little like pile on your bed with like small artifacts with like a note. You can have your glory. Friendly regards, August.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, at least something.
He got the greater treasure.
Oh, well. Welcome to it.
And I think I'll have my scene. We have a complete scene shift as we're inside of the wood-paneled conference room. We see stuffy-looking British men sitting in seats, and up on the stage, we see Julius there behind a lectern. We see the sun shining in. It's bright and warm. As Julius says, and that is how my expedition found a people I'm calling the Antarctic tribesmen of Lost Bay. And he brings out the idol, pulling it up, and we see it now fully, and it's this sort of human shape with an enormous walrus head and the tusks inlaid with ivory in it.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's a game, folks.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for the game. I'm just gonna end the broadcast real quick for anyone who's possibly watching, and we can have like a small chat.